Yo, what's up, my good people? I hope you guys are good. I hope you're fresh. I hope you're happy. It's the Producers Corner. We're on our 4th episode. On this episode, we've got a very important, very exciting guest who goes by the name of Helen Herimbi, who is the founder of Imbali Live Sessions. We've also got an awesome guest in studio, Calya, who'll be blessing us with a beautiful voice and an awesome presence. It is what it is. DJ Shay's Producers Corner episode 4. It's your boy in the building. Away. Alright, so this is the part where we are getting the structure of the song, right? I worked on FL Studio for this song because I was actually working from my laptop as well. So you're trying to get the structure right, because the structure is very important to the song, arrangement basically. That's the actual term in music production. It's called the arrangement. I just call it the structure because, it's me. So yeah, we're just trying to get it right with the vocalist here because in order for her to make sense of what she's singing, the arrangement has to also be there. You don't have to have the whole thing already like now, like when the studio session is starting out, because my experience with the arrangement is that it constantly changes. Arrangement, like especially when you're doing the post-production of a song, doing the mixing and the mastering, you constantly like arrange and rearrange the vocals and the beat and the instruments and the drums. So yeah, but we're just trying to get the right structure for it and to make sure that everything is on point to make her job easier as well. So that's what we're doing right now. It's your boy in the building, DJ Shades, Producers Corner away. What's that?
That's gonna start right away. So I'm gonna start with the verse there, as you say. And then this would kind of be like a pre-chorus, isn't it? And then go into hook.
Why did you stop playing?
Midnight's rising, people vibing.
Just one. Yo, you see, I can't even read my handwriting. Yeah, I was like, where's the... Okay, let me just go again.
Can't move it. Okay, you know what I think? I think you come in with the cake like this.
Yeah.
Let's forget the week that's past us. Midnight's rising, people vibing. Just one more shot to keep us going. Who are we to judge? We are just human.
Or something, I don't know. Because I want to switch it up. Or unless I keep it the same.
No, I want to hear you sing.
That's what I have. So I'm just like going.
I think this is going to be a beautiful song.
I wanted to say that the sound of the acoustic guitar with this song is going to work well for your voice.
Yeah.
Because you got that,
Alternate.
you know what I mean? Exactly. Whereas electric, it's more like dancehall, but this gives you more space, I suppose, to be relaxed and more dynamic, more relaxed.
It's going to be a nice outro.
Okay. Yeah.
Going into that, like it switches from this
Yeah,
house
yeah,
dance
yeah,
to what?
yeah, definitely. So we'll have it in the song, and then Avila will arrange it to have its own section where it's probably just acoustic and voices, and then everything together and stuff. And then it's gonna be a vibe.
I'm excited.
Midnight's coming, we are vibing. Midnight's rising, we are vibing. Midnight. Midnight's rising, the people are vibing. 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 Midnight, 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 midnight.
like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's catchy.
That is wow.
So-
Hectic. I need more lyrics because I'm losing.
Isn't
No, I mumbled.
oh.
So I
You mumbled
have until
correctly.
so the first hook, and then when it goes back again, I don't have words.
House lessons 101. You want to get something catchy.
Catchy
You know what
and
I mean?
repetitive.
Easy sing along.
So much space.
Because we geniuses, like it comes easy to us. But for those of you who are
He's a
not
genius.
as, you know,
He's a genius.
just get something easy. Don't think about it too much. But
Don't think
Yeah.
about it too much, too much, too much.
And you guys can see for yourself, man. You know, we're in the producer's corner. It's the writing process, you know. You can see Dave Monday, Don, Calya, there in the background doing their thing. You know,
You can go.
it is what it is. It's producer's corner, man. Everyone's free, everyone's relaxed. It's your boy DJ Shay's in the building. Away.
Body's touching. I hope this lasts till the morning.
morning.
Midnight rising. What now? Lips. What? Because you can't say touching again. I mean, you can get away with that, but it's like there's
Just
something
like that's
basic.
boring, you know what I mean? Yeah. Lips.
Lips
sink
are
in, or
synced.
whatever. Does that make sense?
Midnight rising.
So it starts with the eyes, and then. That is nice. Sorry.
Is this Trump?
Let me be.
But Trump was like talking.
Yeah, go back.
Like, Trump was, he was yelling. He wasn't even like talking about other people. He was just being so narcissistic about it.
But they were even saying what is it? Both of them to not talk about policy, which is the point of
That's
policy.
the conversation.
So all I heard then was, yeah, well, we all know that Trump is white supremacy, so I wasn't shocked that.
Yo, it's beautiful.
So the fact that we
Yo.
Hey guys, you've heard the beat, man. You know, you see what we're working towards. It's the Producer's Corner episode 4. You know what I want to do right now? I just want to get some guitar on it, you know, give it that soulful vibe, that soulful touch. You know, let's leave it up to Dave Monday and see what he can do. And then Don's going to come with the vocals, bless us with the voice. That is what it is. Your boy in the building, DJ Shea. for joining us. I know on the show, on the Producers Corner. Welcome. You know, thank you for actually being a part of it. You know, because honestly speaking, you're somebody that I look at and I feel inspired. You know, by the great things that you do and the great things that you've done. You know, so and I always did, you know, check out your stuff, and like I'm like, wow, you know, you have a really strong work ethic. So you know, it's quite amazing and it's quite inspiring, and I hope it inspires, you know, other young people out there and other people just who are looking for that inspiration that they can do it. So yeah, you know, welcome to the show. You know,
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Nah, it's all good. So yeah, I've got questions that I need to ask you, and I just needed a person who is very much into research and who knows exactly what's going on in the industry as well, in the entertainment, in the media, and in the music industry. Because you're someone that I look at and I see that, you know, you are very clued up on what you're doing and you do your research well. So I just have a couple of questions that I want to ask you, and hopefully you answer them properly, and I believe that you will, you know, and go into details, because I always I always hope for people to learn something valuable from this show and from these interviews that I'm doing, especially artists as well, you know. So yeah, the first question that I have is, what do you think is lacking in artists that are in the music and entertainment space, both in our country and Africa as a whole, and how can they improve on these things?
Well, I think that artists all over the continent have been doing really well under the circumstances, you know. It's not easy to be in a space where you thought the industry was one way, and then this pandemic said, you thought, you know. So I think I've got several things that I can say are not necessarily lacking, but artists can equip themselves with. So the first thing I would advise everyone who thinks that they're an artist to do is to treat it like a business. So what I mean by that is, if you're an artist, you already know that you're super creative. You know that already. You don't have to worry about that. But not every artist is good at being a business person, right? So that means that it's very unpopular advice, but I would say it to people. Go and find somebody who sees your bottom line. So this person doesn't even have to believe in you. They don't have to believe in your music. Like, oh, you know, I love the way you rap. I like the way you sing. Even if they don't, they might just look at you and be like, the way that you rap is going to make money in this way. And you need to find that person who believes in your bottom line. Because when you can't gig, they are the person who's going to go, actually, here's this endorsement. Or here's this other way that we're going to make money, because people know you for your music, but you can't actually go and give them your music at the moment. So I think you having a business partner is going to be helpful for you if you're a musician. I think the other thing is artists need to cultivate their audience. I don't think they do enough of that. So somebody decides that they're an artist and they want to share in the pie that everybody wants. And that's not effective for everyone, you know? So the ways that you could kind of circumvent that is by looking at your analytics. So you and I are on Instagram right now, right? Everybody who's on Instagram has access to their Instagram analytics, even if you have...
But like, it's, you know, so sorry to cut you off. It's very difficult to understand what they actually mean, the analytics, you know, especially for artists.
No, that's a cop-out. I don't make music and I look at my analytics and I understand what they mean. And, you know, just to give you a bit of background, when I used to blog with my dude over a decade ago, one of my aliases was the technophobe, because I genuinely was online as somebody who's afraid to be online. I thought I didn't understand anything. So if I can understand analytics, anyone can understand analytics. And it's not difficult, you know, whether you are on YouTube because you're an artist, you must put your videos out, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, go to your analytics. It'll literally tell you that there's 40% of your audience that is male or whatever, you know? It's not hard things to look at. It's not like these graphs that have words that we don't understand. It's like, what is your audience? They are male. When do they usually watch what you're doing? At this time. So look at your analytics, because if you keep putting out content that people aren't interested in, then you're going to feel like nobody thinks you're talented. And that's not the case. You're just not serving your audience. So cultivate your audience. Don't try to be like, oh, you know, I really want the audience that Casper has. Are you Casper? Do you make Casper music? Do you make Casper content? You know what I mean? Like, so what are the things that the people who follow you, what are they interested in? And the stuff that they hate, like, so if for instance you put out something on Instagram, right, and you're an artist,
Sorry. Yeah.
and you put out this thing on Instagram, and then you get like loads of engagement, everybody likes it, and then the next day you put out something else and it doesn't get so much engagement. Look at those things. What was it that worked with the previous post that didn't work for the post that came later? Same, you know, like just look at your analytics. The other thing, you asked about people on the continent, well, in the country and on the continent. I think one of the things that artists can do is try to collaborate across country lines in ways that are mutually beneficial. So don't just jump onto something because it's the new wave. So if you look at somebody like Jules and Busiswa, Jules is Ghanaian and he lives in London. Busiswa is South African, but they made like an incredible song together. You know what I mean? Like that works for both of them. It introduces each other to each other's audiences. So don't just jump on something because you think it's the wave, you know?
All right. Some strong words. All right. The second actually, that's the second question that I have for you. It's actually quite long questions. I wrote them down, by the way, so that I don't forget. Yeah, because I know that you don't play. So being in the entertainment and music and journalism space, I'm sure you've interviewed and met a whole lot of artists, you know. What are the qualities or characteristics that make you realize that an artist is actually going to be successful?
You know, I think some of your viewers might think my answers are very airy-fairy, but I hope that they reach the people that they are meant to reach. So to answer your question, I think it depends on how you define success. So if success to you is money, right? And that to be a successful artist, you have to be a platinum selling somebody with 4 million rands in your bank account, then the perception is that not everyone can be successful. And that's a lie. You have to define for yourself.
I need to sit down for this properly so that I hear exactly what you're saying.
I thought you were sitting.
No, I need to adjust my position. But anyway, you can continue.
So you have to define for yourself early on in your career, what does success mean to you? Because if it's just money, then you have to be willing to pay the tolls. You have to be the kind of artist who believes in that, so pursue that, and then don't be angry, people aren't giving me 4 million rands, because you're not playing that game. So you have to define what success means for you. And I think that one of the things that, actually a few things that you can look at is something that Ava DuVernay loves to talk about. And it's that you already have to have started your own train. So don't go around begging people to be on your train. People will they will beg you to jump onto your train once you are moving. So you have to start things for yourself. You can't cry and say, nobody's paying for my music videos. Go and work at Wimpy and make that 2,000 rands to go and pay a videographer to come and shoot your video. You know what I mean? And then if it's dope, other people will go, oh my God, how can I give you money for how talented you are?
True.
And that will make you successful. And I think the other thing that people don't necessarily think about is your music actually good? And I don't mean does your music sound like everybody else's music. Is it actually good? So even if you are a weirdo or you make music that's super different from everybody else, to the ear, is it palatable? As in, did you take the time to go and find a producer that works well with your style? Did you take the time to go and mix and master this stuff? Like, are you just giving us something that you recorded as a voice note? Like, that's not going to work. And then I think the last thing about success, because I don't think anyone can predict whether you are going to be successful or not, because you could be super talented and do all the things that I said you must do and start your train. But if your personality sucks, then people don't want to work with you. So do you know the acronym BDE?
I'm not entirely sure, but I've heard of it.
Okay, it stands for Big Dick Energy.
Okay,
anyone can have big dick energy. It's not a male thing. Anyone can have it, and it just means confidence, right? Like you walk into a room knowing who you are, rooted in yourself, and you are confident in your abilities, right? You have to have that as an artist. That's halfway to success, but you can't be the D in BDE. Don't be a dick to people. Just like be a good human being. You know what I mean? Because then people do want to work with you. And even if you're not the most talented person, if you are a good person, a nice person, a pleasant person, then people are willing to give you things that your talent doesn't deserve,
All right. Thank you for that answer. It's just very deep. So third question I have for you. Do you think, and this is something that I did research on, like I do a lot of research, in the music and business and future and stuff. So do you think that virtual reality and gaming is something that South African artists should look into as a sustainable source of income, and should the music that they make adjust and adapt to that platform?
I think that artists should look at as many avenues as possible for the growth of their music and the growth of their bank accounts. But is it sustainable for everyone? I don't know. And the way to find that out is to go look at your analytics. Where is your audience? So if you look at somebody like Travis Scott, right? He can do the virtual reality game amazingly, right? A, because the type of audience that he caters to will follow him anywhere. But B, because his music lends itself to the kind of thing that would be a virtual reality thing. You know what I mean? And the way that he knows that is because his team is looking at things like, where is the audience? And if you look at somebody like Logic, who says he's quit music, but is now known to be a gamer, what he then did was he brought his music audience to the gaming world. And then he made the gamers kind of take a second look like, is this something we should be looking into? But again, it's because it was authentic to him, like that is what he does. He's a gamer. So I don't know if Master KG must go and like look at gaming, but the people who look at his analytics would be able to tell him. You know what I mean?
I hear you, and that actually answers the question in a way that I never thought. But I hear you. It makes a lot of sense, though. Last question I have for you before I let you leave is if there's anything an artist listening to this interview today could learn from you and should learn from you, what is it and why?
I think that it's very hard to prescribe to people what they should learn from other people, because your intention can be your intention, but what people take from it is what is supposed to come to them, But what I hope that people are able to take from my journey, or as much as they've seen of my journey, is that there's always room to be more of yourself. and you can use as many avenues as you want to be more of yourself. So don't let anybody get in the way of you being your authentic self.
Wow. All right. And actually, you know what's nice about that is because we're in Heritage Month and it's all about authenticity, you know, and that's a very important thing.
Every month is Heritage Month. Every month.
Oh, true. Yeah, true. But thank you for your time. I don't want to take up any more of it. Thank you for joining us on the Producer's Corner. I'm glad
Thank you for inviting me.
It's only a pleasure, yo. I wish I could talk to you for like hours and hours and hours, but people have to go home and people have things to do, you know.
I have to invoice you, so.
All right, we'll talk about it. But I do feel like we need to have some sort of conversation, sit down, and actually get to, you know, see what the vibe is about in terms of business and music and what we can do. Because I feel as though, you know, you're a great person and keep at it.
Thank you. You keep it up too.
Okay, thank you very much, Helen. Take care, enjoy, stay blessed.
You too. Bye.
All right, thanks, bye. Yo, welcome back, guys. You heard what happened in the studio. You've seen it for yourself. You felt it. I feel it, and I know you do too. So, on this part of the show, man, you know, this is where the music is done, the work is done. You heard the interview. You heard our guest, Helen Herimbi, gave us some beautiful insights. You know, so now this is the part where I just speak to the artist. You know, it's a chill down, you know, vibe. You know, tone down. If we had some drinks here, we'd be having drinks. But anyway, gotta go home. I just want to get to know them a little bit better, and for you guys also to get to know them a little bit better, you know. It's just a young interview, you know. It is what it is. Let's get into it. Away. So, let me start with the lady of the house, of the studio. I've got questions that I need to ask you. First one being is that, how was it growing up in Australia?
Dun, dun, dun. It was interesting. So I will say the freedom I had was more accessible. Education wise, it's not any different. Like, I feel I was thriving more here education wise than there.
What is that?
So there you don't fail a year at all. You can literally pass through. So, like, you know, that pressure of, you know, pushing yourself wasn't really much needed, and which is weird because I grew up in South Africa until I was 11. So when I went there, I had like this, you know, ambition, and, you know, you go in a first world country, you know, work hard. And then I won't lie, I did slack off a bit because I was like, you can get away with that. But I'm just glad that my parents still enforced the South African culture. So, I mean, growing up there, I still missed home. And I was like, I have to come home anyway, especially to begin my career.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Second question I have for you is, okay, it's a very weird question, but anyway, if you were to be stranded on an island for like 3-4 months, what's the one thing you take with you?
Coffee.
Good one.
This is hard. I love how people think it's easy. Coffee, a blanket, and food. But like, is there a certain limit to food, or can I have food constantly coming in?
Okay, I don't think that far.
Anyway. You know, like they just drop food, like, you know, in a box and it drops.
All right, so coffee and a blanket, basically.
And food.
And
Please.
all right, okay. The last question I have for you is that, what's the one thing that you value in people?
Oh, honesty, kindness, caring.
Say one thing.
Oh, okay. Being genuine
All right.
would be the most valued.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Dave Monday.
Yes.
Just have a few questions for you because you're always here. You know, you are regular.
It's not.
All right. If you were to be stranded in an island, what's the one thing you take with you? And I know you already know it.
One. Only one.
Only one. Just choose one. One thing.
I have to take the guitar.
I knew
have
it.
to. I have to. Only because it's one thing, but there's a lot of other things as well.
All right. And what's the one thing that you value in what's the one thing that you value in people?
Energy. A person's presence always speaks for them before they open their mouth. So, we have this thing of being humans, of just being able to pick up, they call it a sixth sense or whatever. So I do not take lightly to that. I feed off of that. So I feed off of people's energies, and if we don't vibe, I'd rather segregate myself from that. But yeah.
All right, last question, and I asked this question to the saxophonist and other vocalist who was here, and you know, it's just a pity he's not here for this episode. It had to be in East London. But anyway, 5 years from now, what does Dave Monday's day look like? How does it start?
Yeah.
What do you get up into 5 years from now?
Pressure. You guys gonna quote me on this, okay? 5 years from now, ideally, it's 2020. Will I be married? No. I'll be doing what I love, which I already am, but on a much more bigger scale. Should I go into detail?
Just a little bit.
So I've got music out, I'm a musician. I think I will be at a place where I'll never be fully comfortable, you know, or happy with. I'm not going to say happy, but I will be at a place where I can do what I want now without necessarily having to do the things you need to do in order to do what you want to do. I'll be at the point of getting to do what I want to do because I have done the things I've needed to do, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, but you didn't answer the actual question.
No,
How does your day start like?
Okay, my day starts like I wake up at about what day of the week is it? Okay, during the week, it's not weekend. During the week, wake up at about 10, 11. Play some music, roll something nice, and then I go into my creative space, which is actually at home, something like a studio. If not, I get a jam session, but I enjoy constantly surrounding myself in the space of creativity. So a normal day is just me doing what I love.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Music.
Anyway, guys, thanks for your time. You know, I really appreciate it, for your patience, for your work. You know, it's the producer's corner. I'm glad that you guys feel at home and you feel, you know, at ease. Anyway, you guys have heard it. You know, this is the part of the show where I get to know the artists a little bit better. You know, I get to speak to them, and I hope that you guys can get to understand them better as well. It's the Producer's Corner episode 4. You know, there's still so much more coming. There's still so much more to look forward to. It's your boy in the building, and it's a wrap. Away. Hey man, I don't even know what to say anymore. You guys have seen it, you felt it, I feel it, you feel it. It's the Producer's Corner episode 4. Had Don blessing us with the vocals on this episode. It had Dave Monday on the guitar and your boy in the building on the beat. Also, shout out to our special guest, very informative, Helen Herimbi, founder of Imbali Live Sessions. It is what it is, your boy in the building. Stay tuned, same time next week, same place. DJ Shades, your boy in the building, the Producer's Corner. Away.
Midnight's rising and people are vibing.